G'day and welcome to this week's episode of Ask Leah. This week's question comes from a leader who wants to know more about how to deliver feedback with kindness in a way that I sometimes refer to as kind candour. Feedback that is to someone who has done something that's not appropriate, or you need to give feedback that is constructive. How do I do that in a kind way? Well, the very first thing I want to point out here is having the conversation is the kind thing to do. A lot of us confuse nice and kind. Nice is where we don't have the conversation because we're just focused on all getting along and harmony. And then the problem festers, it grows, and it goes unsaid. So actually it's a really cruel thing to do because it doesn't allow someone to improve. It doesn't give them the information they need to improve. As Brene Brown says, clear is kind. But how do we do it? How do we deliver that feedback with some empathy and compassion, understanding the emotions and connecting with the emotions of the other person, and actually caring about that in the first place is a good first step to delivering it with kindness. But I wanted just to share some top tips on this tonight. And the very first one is to explain the why and articulate your intent behind having the conversations, because you are intending to help this person, but their automatic read on it, with the negative bias that we all have, may be to spiral to, oh my gosh, I'm in trouble, I've done the wrong thing, you're probably going to fire me. Okay, so start off by explaining the why. Hey, I want to have this conversation with you because I genuinely want to help you grow and improve in the workplace. Or, hey, I can see you've got real potential in this role, which is why I want to speak to you about how you're communicating at times with some of your colleagues, because I think it's having an impact that you're not aware of, and I really want you to be able to get the best results for you and the team in this position. So it's not lying, it's not doing the shit sandwich approach to feedback. You're not blowing smoke up their bum. You're articulating your intention in raising it in the first place. This is to help them. It's not to punish them. It's not to blame, shame them. This is to help them grow, improve, and develop. So start there. The second tip that I give you is to remember to stay hard on the issue, soft on the person. You are dealing with a human, so you need to bring your humanity to this conversation. That doesn't mean you go soft, hard on the issue. If they've really done the wrong thing, you need to hold them accountable for that. But you are dealing with a human with emotions and feelings. So you can acknowledge those emotions and feelings, and that's empathy. Okay, and that empathy might be saying, if they get defensive or upset, going, I appreciate that sometimes this sort of feedback can be hard to hear. Take a moment to process it. Please remember, the reason I'm giving you this feedback is to give you the information you need to be able to learn and improve from here. The third piece that I want to leave you with tonight, after you've explained the why, you've stayed hard on the issue, soft on the person, is to make sure that you clarify understanding with the person and get curious to their take on it. Because what can happen in these conversations is, in your anxiety to get it out, you feel like you've been really clear, and the other person has read it or taken the feedback a totally different way. So make sure that you spend a bit of time at the end, after you've been really clear about what the issue is and what change you need to see. Remember, clear is kind. Have that conversation about what was their take on it and what you need to see happen from here. I run a whole workshop on how to deliver feedback effectively called Feedback is Not a Dirty Word. Hit me up if you would like to know more about that. But I hope there's a couple of tips to get you started on your way to delivering some of that challenging feedback with a bit more kindness while also keeping the candour. If you've got a communication, leadership, self-leadership, tricky people problem you would like answered, send it through and I'll do my best to answer it for you next week. Cheers.